And good news for those in South Korea who've been separated from their loved ones in other countries because of the pandemic. Starting next month, people who've been fully vaccinated overseas will be able to visit South Korea without having to self-quarantine when they get here. Choi Won-jong has the details.
Starting in July, people who are fully vaccinated overseas will be exempt from 2-week self-quarantine when arriving in the country. The change comes nearly a month after the quarantine exemption was first given to those who received their vaccines in South Korea. Who exactly will be eligible for the exemption from self-quarantine? The health authorities last Sunday said it only applies to travelers who received their COVID shots overseas, but within same country. The policy will apply to Korean citizens or foreigners who come to see their spouses, parents, or children, but doesn't cover those visiting their siblings or more distant family members. Also, those who come for business or public interest reasons are good to go. In the past, only top officials from companies were exempt, but from July, any important business trips will be applicable. What about fully vaccinated parents traveling with unvaccinated children? Unvaccinated kids under the age of 6 are still exempt from mandatory quarantine if both parents are fully vaccinated overseas. However, those unvaccinated children aged over 6 are required to go through mandatory quarantine in South Korea once they arrive. What kind of COVID-19 vaccines will be applicable? Only the 7 COVID-19 vaccines that have received the WHO's emergency approval are listed. These are AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna, Janssen, Sinopharm, Sinovac, and Covishield. However, Sputnik V is not included. Application cannot be made until at least 2 weeks after vaccination. How to apply for the exemption? Travelers are required to submit application including approved vaccination and family relations. Application must be made at least 7 days before departure. Which countries are not included in the quarantine exemption? People traveling from countries with major outbreaks or mutation will not be allowed to skip the quarantine. As of Monday, travelers from South Africa, Brazil, and 11 other countries, mainly in Southern Africa and South America, will still need to quarantine for 2 weeks. All travelers, including those with exemption, will need at least 3 COVID tests, 72 hours before departure, on the day of arrival, and 7 days after arrival. Choi Won-jong, Arirang News.